Welcome to the third tutorial of on loops used in Python. Outline of the today's tutorial is what do you mean by looping, types of loop, while loop, for loop, nested loop, and continue and break statement. So, what do you mean by looping? If I want to write a hello statement 100 times, so instead of writing print statement 100 times, what I can do, I can write print statement only once and I can embed it within a loop, and for the loop I can give a range, give a iterative loop, give a range because of which the print statement will be repeated 100 times. So what what do you mean by looping statement? Looping statements are used to execute a block of code or a group of statements repeatedly for several times as specified by user. Now, various types of loops: while loop, for loop, nested loop. Out of this, what is while loop? While loop in Python, while loop is used to execute indented block of code of statements repeatedly until a mentioned condition is satisfied. And when the condition becomes false, then the statement immediately after the while loop is executed. Syntax is while condition, and under that you have intended block of code statement. While condition, intended block of code statements, else again intended block of code statements. So first while loop. Here initially I is equal to 1. So it goes to while loop. It is less than 6. So it will print intended block is what? Print statement and I plus equal to 1. This is intended block. So print I. It will print the value of I. Then I plus equal to 1. That means the value of I is incremented by 1. So then I becomes 2. 2 is again less than 6. So again I will be printed. I will be incremented. Like this procedure will go until I becomes 6. When I become 6, it will come out of the value and it goes to else part and it will print what? It is no longer less than 6. So see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right. And I is no longer less than 6. Now for loop. For loop is used to iterate an intended block of code until the given condition becomes false. So, for variable in range, start index, comma, end index, comma, step. So, start index to end index, it will execute, range will take initial value as the start index, end value as the end index, and of comma step. So start index will be incremented. Step means start index will be incremented by the step value until it reaches the end index. So and until this point, what will happen? The indented block of code statements present within the for loop will be executed. And the for loop is also used to iterate over a sequence which may be list, tuple, dictionary, set, or string. So let us see the execution of for loop. Here in this case, for I in range 10. So it will print all the values between 0 to 10. And when I becomes 10, it will come out of the value. Okay. This is, so we start index here in this case it is 0, end index is 10 and range is 0 or 1. Okay. Sorry. Start index is 0, end index is 10 and step is 1. So I will be incremented by 1. Another this is you can also have the step values negative, and you can have start index some value greater and end index less than, like that. So here in this case, your for loop, the value of I will start from 20, it will go up to 10, but it will decremented by 2. Why? Because step is minus 2. So see the execution. So 20, 18, 16, 14, 12. Next, you have as you can use, as I told, for loop can also be used for list, tuple and dictionary. So here for loop is used for all this. List 1, it's a list 1, it's a list, so it has apple 1000 comma banana comma grapes, so all those values are L in list 1, so it will print all the values of this list. So L in, that means L is initially it is equal to apple, so it will print apple. Then the iterator will go to the next value, that is 1001. So L becomes 1001. So now it will print what? 1001. L will go to the third value. L becomes banana. So it will print banana. Next, L becomes grape. So it will print what? Grapes. So this is for list. Same thing is also used for tuple. Tuple, you have this. So for loop can be used for tuple. That is, in tuple you have this. So for loop can be used for tuple, and that is, it will your t in tuple. So t will take the values from 100, 200, 300. Next you have is dictionary. Dictionary for D in dictionary 1 comma items. So I want I want key and values, all both the things to be printed. So here key is name, so current is value. Similarly, age is name and 20 is value. So all these values are being will be printed for D in dictionary 1. So D is equal to initially dictionary 1 dot items. So D is equal to name. So it will print the value of name. Then D is iterator. So D will go to the second, that is age. Then D will become content and so on. Okay. Apple 100, 1000, banana, grapes, tuples values and dictionaries. All these values are. Now go back to our PPT. Next is nested loop. You can embed one loop inside the another loop. So for variable 2 in sequence, that loop is embedded inside the for variable 1 in sequence. So for variable 2 in sequence, that loop will be executed until the variable 1 in sequence is executed, and uh, when that condition becomes false, it comes out of the main outer loop. Inner loop, inside the inner loop, again you have indented block of statements. So those indented block of statements inside the inner loop will get execute until what? This sequence is followed or this condition is followed. And when this condition is not followed, so it goes over here, and what it does, it will goes to the intended outer this intended block, and it will wait for the next value of what? Variable 1. Okay, so this outer block will be executed on the basis of the outer for. Similarly, you can embed one while loop inside the another while loop. So while next expression 1, while expression 2, statements, and again this. Now A for loop can also be nested within a while loop, and while loop also can be nested within a for. Next you have is control statements. So control statements which can be used within the loops are break, continue and pass. So break statement terminates the loop and transfers the control of the execution to the next statement following the loop. Continue statement will not terminate the loop, but here in this case it bypasses the statement following the continue statement and continues the execution of the loop. So here we can have as break statement. So for I in range 5. So here what we are doing in this case, we are for I in range 5. So we have taken the for loop which will accept the user input 5 user input. So I is taken from 0 to 5. So x is equal to int input, enter the number. So if I enter 2, so enter the number. So 2 is entered. Now 2 is greater than 0. So if x less than 0 is not satisfied. 7 is also greater than 0, so not satisfied. 6 is also greater than 0, so if statement becomes false. Now if I enter minus 9 is less than 0, so it will print what the negative numbers are not acceptable. And but for the rest three values, see for the rest, and the for loop is discontinued. For the rest three values, what it does, s is equal to s plus x. Initial value of s is 0, so 0 plus x, so 0 plus 2 is 2. Next, what is accepted? 7. 7 here in this case, again s is equal to s plus x. So here, one second, 7, 7, 2 plus 7, so it will become 9. Then again, next number becomes x equal to 6. So 6, 9 plus 6, that is 15. So sum will be 15 and minus 9 is not accepted. Similarly, we have continuous statement. In the case of continuous statement, here in this case, again what will happen? Even if you enter the negative number, the for loop will get execute, but only thing is that the statement following the continue will not get executed. That is s is equal to s plus x will not be executed in the case only when the number is negative. So here if I enter the number 1, it's okay. Positive, so accepted. 3, it is also okay. So now you got 0 plus 1 is 1. 1 plus 3 is equal to 4. Okay. Next, if I enter 7, so it is also greater than 0. So it continues. Okay. If statement becomes false. But now if I enter minus 3. So here in this case, minus 3 is less than 0. So here continue statement gets executed. It will print that negative numbers are not accepted. Continue statement gets executed, and after executing the continue statement, it performs s is equal to s plus x, and it again goes to the main for loop to execute main for loop, to take the next input. So if I enter the next input, so here the sum is 50. Okay. That's all from my side. And so if you find this video useful, please subscribe my channel and